Cold email can be very difficult, and success varies largely on industry and the product or service that you're selling. However, there are a few different secrets in the industry that allow you to get an edge over your competitors and generate more positive responses in the end. So in this video, I'm going to go over a few of those, why they're so helpful, and how you can implement them into your email outbound flow. The first principle is that your emails should be short and concise. I see so many massive companies send out absolute essays of an email that really no prospect is going to want to read. The reason for this is because people sending out cold emails think that the prospect cares more about their product or service than they actually do. You want to structure your email very simply with an intro line, ideally one that's personalized, a problem statement that's outlining the problem that the company is facing, a value prop, which is just showing how your company's product or service can solve their problem, and then ultimately the offer. You want to keep it really simple. You want to keep it worded like it's being sent to a fifth grader. Make sure that it's completely readable, understandable, and it catches your attention the entire time. It's on you to simplify your value prop in a way that is easily digestible. Segueing into the second email principle, the offer is the number one most important aspect of your entire email. The reason an offer is so important is because most of the time a prospect has absolutely no reason to get on a call with you. There are probably a lot of solutions at least similar to yours, and you need to find a way to entice the prospect to want to get on a call with you. The prospect should not be dreading getting on this call with you. They shouldn't be thinking to themselves, oh my gosh, this person is going to be selling to me for 15 minutes. I don't want to get on the call. They should be excited to get on the call because of the thing that you're offering them in exchange for it. For example, a client that I worked with in the past collected user-generated content about brands on social media and aggregated them into one platform, allowing you to access all of the user-generated content about, say, Hershey's or Dove in one concentrated space, making it easy for social media managers to keep track of said content. So as an offer, we decided to say, hey, if you get on a call with me, I will give you the last 3 months of your brand's user-generated content completely for free to show you that we can track it better than any other tool on the planet. Your offer should be really, really enticing, relevant to the problem that you're solving for your prospect, and ultimately just something that excites them. The best way to think about an offer is, what is the best possible thing I can give away with it still being worth it for me? That way you're putting the person that you're reaching out to first and you second, and I guarantee that if you frame it correctly, your prospects will feel the exact same way. You would be shocked at how much giving free value away affects your sales process. The third tenet to emails that people overlook is that targeting is just as important as your copy. A lot of people focus really heavily on the email copy, and there's a good reason for that because it's very, very important to get right. And if you don't get it right, you will fail. However, what people don't tend to mention often is that picking the right audience to send these emails out to is just as important as the copy is. And that sounds obvious, but I mean it to an even more granular level than you're probably thinking. Even if you have a general idea of who your ICP is and you slightly off target them by changing your positioning just a little bit different for a specific job title where it should be one thing and it's another, you could be in huge trouble. Often when you're writing copy, it's tailored to a specific person that you have in mind, whether it's a CEO, a CFO, a head of ops. And if you send copy to those specific people and don't have that copy oriented to them based on their job title or maybe their position or their company size, the copy is just not going to hit. That's why it's very important to look closely at who you're sending your emails to, because one group of people could not respond to your email copy at all, and then the other group could be absolutely loving it, generate tons of positive responses and tons of leads as a whole. So you might be thinking to yourself, well, how do I write copy that targets everybody? If I have a massive total addressable market, I have several different job titles in that market, how do I write copy that applies to all of them? And my answer is, frankly, you don't. The fourth tenet that I want to go into, and one of the main principles that I think is overlooked, is segmentation of your audience. Most people think of cold email as just getting a massive list of everybody in your possible target audience and blasting them a message, and it might be personalized, but essentially the same message over and over and over again. The reality is, if you have an email template that you're sending, it probably won't apply to everybody in your TAM, which is why you need to segment your target audience into several different micro audiences and write copy for each one of those audiences. Yes, it's going to take more work, I guarantee that, but at the same time, it's going to be significantly more effective if you write copy for each segment of your TAM instead of try to send one email copy out to everybody. For example, if you have a list of companies, all of them between 50 and 500 employees in a list, maybe it'd be best suited to segment them by industry to allow you to write more industry-specific copy and then send that out to them in different micro campaigns. It's significantly more effective than trying to send out to your entire TAM, because people are going to pick up on the fact that maybe this is a templated email or maybe this is a blanket email and not really oriented towards the specific problems I'm facing on a day-to-day basis. The last thing that people overlook far too much when they're sending out cold emails is de-risking the call to action that you're sending to your prospect. So what does that mean? Ultimately, the thing you're usually asking prospects to do in a cold email, especially when you're doing high ticket items like like B2B SaaS or enterprise, is you're asking them to get on a call. That call, as trivial as it may seem to you, is actually quite a daunting barrier for most people that you're reaching out to. They don't want to get on a call because they're just going to feel like they're being sold to, they're going to feel pressure to buy something, and they don't want to feel that pressure. So it's absolutely imperative to de-risk that call to action in your copy. So instead of just saying, let's get on a call to talk about our offerings, it might be better to say something a little bit softer. For example, it might even be good to just explicitly mention that you're not trying to sell them in this initial call. It's actually just feeling each other out to see if we're both a good fit for each other. Much like building relationships with people, they are best created naturally, organically, and slowly. So if you keep that in mind when doing your cold email, it'll make yourself seem a lot less aggressive in your copy. Framing yourself as, hey, I just want to start a working relationship with you and hopefully we can end up being a good fit for each other in the future is exactly the way you should be framing yourself. Not, hey, let me sell you on this thing. I don't know anything about you, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to sell you on my product. That's not how you should be framing things. Those are the 5 secrets to cold outbound that I think can help you get an edge on your competitors when you're doing outbound and of course, generate more positive responses. So I hope this was helpful. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions and happy prospecting.